Oh, HCC Eagles, how are you all doing today? So we are so happy that you came back with us today. I am having technical difficulties with my internet, so I am dialing in from my phone and here with you all for this glorious Wonder Woman Wednesday. It's the first Wonder Woman Wednesday of our series. We do have two, but today I want to introduce to you today Miss Margo Jordan Baines. Ms. Margo Jordan Baines founded the social enterprise Chicks with Class, which operates Chicks with Class storefronts, licenses Chicks with Class franchises and merchandise, and offers the Chicks with Class curriculum via subscription services to select school districts, churches, and youth groups around the country. Chicks with Class opened its first storefront in 2017, which is the first facility in Houston for celebration parties, etiquette programs, and empowerment workshops. Since founding Chicks with Class, Ms. Margo has held several tween empowerment brunches with special guests such as actresses Lyric Hurd and much more. The mission of Ms. Margo is to empower, educate, and entertain girls all over the world through products and experiences developed by Chicks with Class. Ms. Margo has been recognized in media such as Voyage Houston for her entrepreneur skills. KPRC has toured the facility as a live segment of their hit show, Houston Life, and has received Entrepreneur of the Year at this year's Black Girls Excellent Awards Gala. So without further ado, I would like to present to you Miss Margo, who is here for you for Wonder Woman Wednesday. So everybody, welcome Miss Margo.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for giving that amazing intro. And I don't know if did you want me to say anything?
No, you can actually go ahead and get started and everything. We ready.
Okay, awesome. Yes. So, my name is Margo, as was stated, and I am a serial social entrepreneur. So back in 2017, I opened up my very first brick and mortar location, and it was pretty much in order to empower girls. So my company started off as a girls empowerment center, and after COVID happened, I had to figure out a way to sort of pivot. So I developed this self-esteem based e-learning platform. And the self-esteem based platform is intended to help children really reach their full potential. And I think, as we all know, COVID has given us the opportunity to really broaden our horizons and really to expand our reach and our impact. So this new platform that we have, it's intended to deliver this social skills, so through self-esteem based workshops online, but it also collects actionable data. And this actionable data, it gauges self-esteem. It can gauge self-reliance, self-efficiency, resilience. So all of these things we're measuring, and these students were able to then give that information to key decision makers such as therapists or counselors. And we also are in our last stages of raising our pre-seed round. I'm not sure if anyone has ever heard of, there is a new social audio app called Clubhouse. Not sure if you've heard of that at all, but Clubhouse, it's a new platform, and it allows people to connect via voice. So versus Instagram or Twitter, where you're either connecting via pictures or words, Clubhouse allows you to connect via voice. So because of Clubhouse, we've pretty much been able to leverage that to raise a pre-seed round of about $450,000. And over the course of the years, I've learned how to pitch, and I've learned how to pitch effectively. And these are some of the things that you need to learn how to do when you're in business. You need to learn how to pitch your service or your product effectively. But because I pitched effectively, I was able to garner the attention of several investors. Dan Fleischman is actually one of them, and he was the youngest guy ever to IPO his company at the age of 23. So with that being said, he heard me pitch on Clubhouse, and he said, "Hey, I definitely want to invest in your company. I've been looking for someone to write a check to." And he decided to invest in me, along with a couple of other venture capital firms. So yes, so Clubhouse has allowed me to pretty much leverage that and use the funds to build out the final version of our platform, which will be in the United States and international. And I wonder if, let me ask Miss Dominique, or no, I know it's Miss Dominique. I don't have a visual presentation to give. I just wanted to come on today and just really speak about the importance of business and sort of what my journey has looked like as a businesswoman, as someone who is an entrepreneur.
All right, Eagles, just hold on 1 second for us. Miss Margo's computer froze, so she's trying to get everything back up. I don't know what's going on with this Wednesday, but it's giving us a little technical difficulties. So just hang on for a second. We're gonna get her back on and back connected. So if you can just give us a second. I do want to highlight just a few things while we're waiting on Miss Margo. Just remember, we still have some more events happening this week. On tomorrow, we have Concert from the Couch, and then we also have our genealogy program. So if you ever wanted to know how to research your family origins, where your family originated from, where your family came from, we have a expert who's going to be talking about how you can research your family roots, where to go, how to do it for free here in Houston, and just give us some interesting tips on how to do so. I'm looking forward to it because I know I definitely want to look into my ancestry. So we'll have that tomorrow at 1 o'clock right here on Zoom. And then tomorrow night, to give you a little bit of entertainment, we're going to have Concert from the Couch tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for you guys, so you can tune in with your family. So I want to make sure that you guys connect with us on tomorrow before you head out for spring break. Also, don't forget to check out the Eagle Experience site at hccs.presence.io. All right, so hang on for us, okay? Miss Margo is getting rebooted. So until she comes back on, let's do a little something here. So let me turn my camera on so you guys can see me. I'm still having technical difficulties. My internet has gone all the way down, and I am on Zoom from my phone. But Eagles, let's do a little something since we're on here waiting. I think I am in the mood to give away some Eagle points. I know y'all are here for these Eagle points, and y'all seeing these Eagle points accumulate. I think I may want to give away 5 Eagle points today. Miss Dominique, are you in the chat room for me? If you could just press unmute and let me know if you'll be able to see the chat for me.
I am.
Okay, so here we go. I'm throwing a trivia question here. This one is going to be a 1 point question, something real simple, real simple. So, guys, can you please tell me? And whoever answers first in the chat, Miss Dominique is doing it first. Whoever answers this question in the chat gets 1 point. Can someone tell me the name of our mascot? This is for 1 equal point. Whoa, the
It's gonna
messages.
be Jared.
Oh, Jared, come on now. Got your 1 equal point. Okay, I said I was giving away 5. I think I may give away 6. Okay, this next one here is going to be for.
And Ashley, when you're ready, Miss Margo is back.
Okay, so wait. I said Miss Margo is back. I said I was giving away 6. This next question is going to be for 5 equal points. This one's going to be for 5 equal points. Can someone tell me the name of Miss Margo's business? Put it in the chat for your 5 equal points. Oh, I said it. I said it when I did the introduction. Come on. It's 5 points. We don't have nobody, Miss Dominique?
No,
got
nobody's dropped it in the chat yet. Oh, Camilla
Come on,
Torres.
Camilla. All right, Camilla. So you will have your 5 equal points on your page. Give us 24 hours for it to load, as well as Mr. Jared. You'll get your 1 equal point. All right. I'm going to hand it over back to Miss Margo. She's going to finish her presentation. All right, Miss Margo, I'm handing it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Miss Ashley. I'm sorry. My computer had just froze. I think it was because I opened up a PowerPoint, but nevertheless, I'm back. And what I wanted to do was, because I'm a woman in business, and I get so many questions from people about starting a business. What does it take? What do I need to do to get prepared? So I wanted to just quickly present a pitch deck to you all. And then I also wanted to go over, and you can all take notes if you would like to. I wanted to go over some of the key things that you need if you want to start a business, and if you are looking for funding for your business. So I will share my screen, and then I'm just gonna go through this pitch deck. And a pitch deck is something that you create when you want to, when you're looking to get funding. So if you start a company, and this can be a technology-based company, or this can be any type of business, but you always want to make sure you have a pitch deck. So as Miss Ashley stated, I did start a company called Chicks with Class, but after COVID happened, as an entrepreneur, you have to be a thought leader. So I had to create a way to pivot and figure out how can I still impact these children while staying distant because of COVID. So I had to create a brand new pitch deck, and this pitch deck has gotten me, like I said, the seed funding that I leveraged from Clubhouse. So about $450,000 in funding, but it's also allowed me to get grant funds. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, but grant funds are non-dilutive funding for your company. So I will go over this pitch deck right here. All right, so Enrichly is the name of the new company, and it's powered by Youth Enrichment. And we are really strategically leveraging technology and data for kids. And I want you all to pay attention to the words that are on the deck and the visuals as well. So there's literally a troubling trend around unhealthy self-esteem in kids. Youth ages 7 through 11 suffer from low self-esteem. Or 75%, of youth ages 7 through 11 suffer from low self-esteem. 68% of those kids face unreached potential. There's literally been a 57% increase in suicidal death due to low self-esteem amongst kids. So things like teen pregnancy, self-neglect, violent behavior, and suicide literally have one thing in common, and that's unhealthy self-esteem in children. But we are literally the experts in self-esteem development. So in 2016, we produced these really amazing youth conferences, and we would bring in special celebrity guests that our target audience would see from the Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. In 2017, we built the very first brick and mortar. So as you see there, that is the brick and mortar location that we have. It's located on the northeast side of Houston. And then in 2018, we won contracts with schools and organizations, and this was all centered around self-esteem development. We were able to gross about 300K, it's really 350K today in revenue, and we impacted over 10,000 kids. So when the pandemic struck, we needed a way to quickly pivot our in-person model. So we developed this self-esteem based e-learning platform that helps children reach their full potential. And here's a little bit about how it works. So parents will enroll their child, or their school or their church will contract with us. We collect this actionable data through pre-surveys, and then the user then continues throughout the course. After they complete the course, it collects post-course survey data. And then we deliver that data to key decision makers like either school administration or parents. And then at that time, they can choose to either continue throughout the course, they can choose to get their child into some therapy or some counseling. So our character-led instruction really increases engagement amongst our target audience. So our platform, it has character-led games, which are also confidence boosting, and we've seen a 60% increase in engagement because the games are fun and interactive. So the platform, it also collects this actionable data. So we're able to measure things like self-management, social awareness, grit, growth mindset, and self-efficiency. We give this data to the districts as a whole so that they're measuring their student climate effectively. The personalized feedback with in-app connections, because we are able to connect these parents to trusted mental health resources like therapists or counselors, this really allows us to set ourselves apart from any other platform that's out there now. So this is literally a $47 billion market, right? So from the research that we've done, this market has a 24.7% compounded annual growth rate. And this is education technology for social and emotional learning. And our customer acquisition strategy is as follows. So we plan to really go into corporations, schools, churches, and then really hit the parents up through our subscription model. And then here's our revenue model. So we have corporations that are paying annually. We give the services to the churches, and they also pay an annual fee. The parents can subscribe to the platform for $9.99 a month. And then we also contract with schools. So this is a little about our projection. So by year 3, we are projecting about 24 million in revenue. And then here's a little bit about our competitive landscape. So there are several platforms that are out now that are delivering social and emotional learning skills, but none of them are doing all 5, which is collecting the actionable data, uniquely engaging the target audience, delivering the high quality content, and then servicing pre-K through 12. And none of the platforms out there at all directly connects users with the suggested assistants. And when I say suggested, we are using artificial intelligence and deep learning tools with each user in the platform. So some of our traction to date, we've literally been able to, with this new platform, we've been able to get 3 corporate partners at this point, the Global Good Fund, Gab Wireless, and then we have another that's sort of in the works. We also have, at this point, over 100 parents subscribed to the beta platform. We've been able to get our platform in Egypt, in Dubai, Canada, London. So we're literally an international company at this point. And then we have 5 school contracts that we've completed from the fall of last year until the spring of this year. So that's a little bit about our traction. And then some awards and recognitions. So just last November, I was given a World Impact Award through Startup of the Year. I also won first place in a pitch competition through Houston Area Urban League Small Business Exchange pitch competition. And then I also graduated from a program called Founder Gym. And I'll talk a little bit about this after the presentation. And then here is some of the people that are on my team. So I am the founder. I'm a 10-year Army veteran. I have my bachelor's degree in finance. I'm also getting my MBA later this spring. Haley Rose will serve as our CMO, which is Chief Marketing Officer. And then we also have Manjeet. He's going to lead the technology development. Julianne, she's actually going to be the educational psychologist and program evaluator. And then Ms. Dose will be our director of sales. And if you look at the little logos on the bottom, those are pretty much all of the different companies that we worked with as a team, as a collective team. And I just included the logos in order to really condense all of the experience. So we're maximizing benefits for both shareholders and stakeholders. We have over 30 plus years in youth development. We have a $47 billion market, and we've impacted over 10,000 kids to date. So this is a little bit about the pre-seed round that we just raised. So out of that $450,000, this is what we plan to do with the money. And we have, we've pretty much raised the full round. This is an older deck. I just really wanted to show you all an example of what a pitch deck looks like. And our exit strategy is to go IPO. We want to take our company public because we would like to, like I said, maximize benefits for shareholders and stakeholders. And we will be able to do that more effectively if we go IPO. And then I just have a little blurb about myself. Thank you. Leaving my email address and my phone number for anyone to contact me subsequently. So just to start over from the beginning, I kind of ran through that pitch deck, but wanted to go from the very beginning. So when you're putting together a pitch deck, and the reason why I'm going over this is because I have so many people who ask me about pitch decks specifically. And whenever you get started, yes, you need a business plan when you decide that you want to start a business, but having a pitch deck on hand is also it's a very strategic thing to do, but it also allows you to stay ready. One of my mottos is stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So if you stay ready by creating these little blurbs or these little tools, if you are approached by an investor or if you're approached by a customer, you can even create one of these for a customer. You'll have these things available to just send, and you don't have to prepare them. So whenever you have a pitch deck, you want to make sure you have a starter slide. And if you notice through my pitch deck, I don't have a lot of like words, right? So in this starter slide, you want to come up with like one sentence about whatever it is that you do. So we are strategically leveraging technology and data for kids. It's not too much, it's not too little, but it's just enough to have an investor, keep going throughout the pitch, throughout the day. So here I am listing the problem. You always want to make sure you have a problem slide, right? So a troubling trend around unhealthy self-esteem. So this is clearly the problem that we're solving, and I'm giving some statistics. So in whatever industry you're in, you want to make sure you present a problem. And this can be in a pitch deck, this can be in a business plan. But the problem that you're presenting, make sure that it's clear and people understand that that is the problem. So here, this is sort of like our flex slide. And when I say flex, I want to just off the bat, tell these people everything that we've already done and why we are the experts in solving this problem. So if you notice, troubling trend around unhealthy self-esteem in kids, right? We are the experts in self-esteem development. So bam, this is why we're the experts. This is what we have done, and this is what we will do, right? So make sure you have a flex slide in there. And then here is the solution. And I included COVID in my pitch deck, and some of you might also want to include this in your business plans, like how you pivoted a previous company, etc. But you also want to include this in your, you might want to include this in your deck. So for us, it was when COVID hit, we had to quickly pivot our in-person model. So we went from having this brick and mortar in 2017 and 2018 to now, okay, now we need to pivot. And okay, this is what we pivoted to, right? So you see there's a clear storyline as to what the solution is. And then I'm also giving a little bit of information about how this application works. And if you notice, I don't have too many words on the slide. the words aren't too jumbled. Like it's not too much for someone to read. They literally just, they can skim through it. And then this next one is just more of a how-to. So how the application that we're developing, how it works. And this is more along the lines of how it works. Depending on the product or the service that you have, this can be more than one slide. And as you see, I have 4 slides explaining how it works, because I really want the investors to understand what I'm building and why I'm building it. So they always want to know, and you should always want to know this yourself, how big is the market, right? So there's a SAM and a TAM. So the total addressable market and the service addressable market. The TAM is always bigger than the SAM, because the total addressable market for me, it was about 300 billion, but the service addressable market is only 47 billion. And I wanted to make sure to include that. So as long as you know that number in the back of your mind, it's okay. So the compound annual growth rate is 24.7%. And I had to do all of the research in my industry. And if you are starting a business, or if you're thinking about starting a business, make sure that you're researching the different revenues that have been reported for that industry, so that you understand how big the market is. So this slide is just going over my customer acquisition. So if you're developing a company, and let's say you want to, I don't know, sell clothes, or you want to sell hair, or whatever it is, you want to make sure you're coming up with a customer acquisition strategy. So how are you going to get those customers? How are you going to get people to buy whatever it is that you have? What are your channels going to be? So here I listed, okay, we're going to go into corporations, we're going to go to schools and churches, and then parents. And then I listed how we're going to acquire each one of these target customers. And the revenue model is super important. You always want to make sure you know how you're going to make money when you start a business. My revenue model is clear. So when I'm speaking with investors, they understand how I'm going to make money and how I'm going to get them their money back. My projections are listed here as well, because they always want to know, like, well, what do you think you're going to be making in 3 years? Generally, investors or even banks, they want to know, what are you going to make in 3 years? What are you going to make in 5 years? Competitive landscape. There is literally always somebody doing something that you're doing in that same aspect. So make sure that you understand who your competitors are, not only for a pitch deck or for a business plan, but you want to make sure you understand who your competitors are, so that you know what you need to do to stay ahead of the game, right? So the traction. Everyone gets a little tripped up when it comes to traction, because they're like, well, do I need to have revenue to show that I have traction? You don't always need to show that you have revenue. This can be an email list. You could have launched an email list letting people know, hey, I'm about to launch this clothing line, or hey, I'm going to launch this new app. Would you like to sign up for an email to find out when we launch? Or would you like to be one of the first people who purchases a new t-shirt, or who subscribes to our new platform? If you build this subscriber list up to like 10,000 people, and it could even be 500 people, but that is known as traction, because you're building interest into whatever product or service that you have. So some of these awards and recognitions, I like to get into pitch decks, or pitch competitions, because it's a way to get non-dilutive funding. And we're going to talk about that more in a minute. Non-dilutive funding for your business. And it's literally a matter of, you're just pitching. You pitch your product, and you obviously have to create like a presentation like what I'm showing you here to go with that pitch. But if you pitch, and you pitch really, really, really good, you can end up winning tons of money. So for me, I've won over $50,000 in pitch competitions, and I don't do them every year, but when I do them, I'm always either first place or second place. So all of these, the World Impact Award was because I pitched for that. This first place that I won with the Small Business Exchange was because I pitched. And then with the Founder Gym program, I had to pitch myself to be accepted into the program. So whenever you're thinking about starting a business or growing a business, you want to think about who are you going to have on your team. If you don't know how to do something in specific, think about someone else who might have the knowledge or might have the know-how to do whatever it is you don't know how to do. Because you 9 times out of 10, you can't do everything. You can't do everything. So you have to figure out who you need on your team for one, and then who is qualified for that position. A lot of people look to I don't know, close friends or anyone they may have worked with at an old job who they got along with really, really well. But they're looking at certain characteristics of people to see where can this person fit. And then based on how you're growing, based on where you're going, some of the people that you started with may not be the people that you end up growing with, because your company is growing to a level that their expertise and their skill set does not necessarily meet. So you're constantly looking for talent. Something that I always say is you have to be quick to fire and slow to hire. So keep that in mind when you're building up your team. And then this is just like another flex slide or a summary. So this is why this investor should give us money. We have 30 plus years in leadership and youth development. It's a $47 billion market and we're impacting over 10,000 kids. They always want to see the investors, and you should know this for yourself as well. How are you going to spend the money? So if you are pitching for an investment, make sure that you have this down to a T. So if you're pitching and you want $1 million, that means, okay, with that $1 million, this is what I'm going to do. And you have it broken down in a way that those investors understand, and they're looking at it as if, okay, this is a pretty strategic investment, because if I help this person do A, B, C, and D, this is going to help them get to that $24 million by year 3 in revenue. And the $450K that I gave them, depending on the term sheet, is going to turn into a 3 to 5x return. So this slide, I put exit strategy, but one thing that you shouldn't do when you are thinking about how you're going to exit the company, don't label it as exit strategy. And this is actually a new sort of tactic that I'm hearing. A lot of investors don't like to see exit strategy. So be a little bit more strategic with how you're wording this. Maybe you could just put on here IPO, and they understand, oh, well, that's how they plan to exit the company. And I hope I'm not speaking a language that many people don't understand, but feel free to put questions in the chat and I'll make sure to answer the questions that you have. And then just the little thank you slide, make sure you leave your contact information there for people to contact you. So I want to go back to this slide here. So when I spoke about non-dilutive funding. So a lot of people are looking for money to start their businesses, right? But this money does not necessarily need to come from an investor. There are a lot of non-dilutive ways to fund your company. And when I say non-dilutive, this means people are just giving you money based on whatever idea that you came up with. One non-dilutive way to get funds is through pitch competitions. So usually if you go to Google and you set up your Google alerts to alert you whenever a new pitch competition has been announced, or whenever certain pitch competitions have been to be notified of these opportunities, you'll receive emails for upcoming competitions and you can submit applications for. Like I said, I've been able to win about $50,000 in pitch competitions. But some people have won, I don't know, over 300K in pitch competition winnings. But I definitely will say, because of my ability to pitch effectively, it's gotten me very, very far. So another way to get non-dilutive funding is in the form of grants. So I'm getting my MBA, and last year we were sort of locked in a house for COVID. I had an opportunity to take an elective with my MBA. And the selective that I took was a grant writing class. And I knew that I've always wanted to hire a grant writer in order to get this non-dilutive funding. And I actually had wrote it into my budget, but since I had the ability to take that class, I just went ahead and took it. So I took the class and I literally learned everything there is to know about searching for grants, writing up proposals, research questions, just literally everything. And from that, I had written 2 100-page proposals for a grant. One of them was for a teen pregnancy prevention program. Now, I am a pretty strategic grant writer in the fact that when I'm looking for funding opportunities, I'm looking at how my current product or service can solve this funder's issues. So when I seen something about a teen pregnancy prevention program, the first thing that popped in my mind was, well, if I know that unhealthy self-esteem attributes to things like teen pregnancy, I can use my current product to implement a program to prevent teen pregnancy. So I wrote about 100 pages, and I ended up, you need 100 points to be funded. And a lot of these funding opportunities, they give you a score guide. And depending on how many points you get, will let you know if you got the grant or not. And you need 100 points. So I ended up writing it, I submitted it, and I got 96 points on this grant. And I was super shocked because the other 100-page proposal that I had written, I only got maybe like 70 points. So it was still high, but it wasn't as high as the teen pregnancy prevention program. So once I submitted it, once I got my scorecard back, I saw what they wanted me to change. So whenever you submit, they always send you something back saying, okay, hey, if you can change A, B, C, and D, you can recoup these points and you can apply again and you'll be awarded the next time. So because of that, because of me writing this 100-page proposal and doing pretty well on it, I'm able to now submit another proposal for the same funding opportunity. But this time I'll be up for, it's like 1.3 million in grant funds. And for an organization like mine, to be able to receive this $1.3 million in grant funds to implement a teen pregnancy prevention program is really huge, because we'll be able to do the research needed to prove or to state how developing self-esteem will decrease things like teen pregnancy, and really finding out how well our program works in vulnerable communities and in vulnerable populations. This will give us the edge that we really, really, really need to really knock all of our competition out of the water. So when you're looking for grant funds and when you're looking for non-dilutive funding, think about strategic ways of how your company or how your product or how whatever it is that you're offering can meet this funder's needs. So since I've written my own proposal or my own grant, I've decided to go ahead and start writing grants for other people, because there are so many different funding opportunities out there for anything you can think of. People just have no idea that they're there. And when reading some of this language, some of it is jargon, and you're reading it like, well, I don't even know if I'm really eligible to receive this, or, but at the end of the day, you really are, so it's just like, you just have to read through the language. You have to sift through everything that is there. And once you do that, you determine which ones you are capable of getting. And that's sort of what I do as a grant writer. I find these funding opportunities for other people to apply for. I write a really, really great proposal for them. I never guarantee funding, because you really can't do that as a grant writer. You can't guarantee that they'll get the funding, because a lot of these are, a lot of people are applying for these. So the competition might be fierce, and you never know who is applying for these grants, or if it's their second time around applying, then 9 times out of 10, they might get that funding over your organization if it is your first time. But nevertheless, that is a little bit about non-dilutive funding. And just to give you all some resources to find some non-dilutive funding opportunities, grants.gov is a really great site. If you are looking on grants.gov, then you do need to be registered in Dun & Bradstreet. You do need to have your NAICS codes. And we can talk about that. If you have questions about like what is a Dun & Bradstreet, what are NAICS codes, please put them in the chat and I'll be happy to answer those questions. But yes, you have to be registered in Dun & Bradstreet. You also have to be registered in SAMS. SAMS.gov is another one where you need to be registered in order to receive federal grant funding. And I want to say, APA.gov is another good website for you to find some grants. They have some of the smaller opportunities, they have some of the larger opportunities, but with APA.gov, they're generally wanting you to formulate a research question. And from this research question, you're going to come up with the entire proposal. With grants.gov, they generally have specific grants or specific funding opportunities that they already know what they want you to do. You just need to put in a really good proposal as to why you should get the grant over someone else. So I hope that this has been useful for anyone looking to start a business, anyone looking to grow a business. If you would like to figure out, if you would like to create your own pitch deck, you can there's a Canva or leanstack.gov. So yes, I think it's 1:44, so we have time for some questions, but let me know, and I'll stop sharing my screen. And there you have it. And Miss Ashley or Miss Dominique, I don't know if you wanted to take over.
I actually was looking in the chat to see. I'm still toggling on my phone here. No internet service back up where I'm at. But I actually was trying to look in the chat to see if we had any questions there that I may needed to ask you. I think you've answered everything. Miss Margo, thank you so much for this wealth of knowledge. Like literally learn something new every day. Had no idea like all of this funding was available for you to start up your business, like not having to basically kind of take a penny out your pocket, You on mute, we can't hear you.
Look, I feel like that's the theme of the year. You are still on mute. No, but I was saying that there are so many different funding opportunities for people wanting to start a business or for, just for literally anything. I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat. Somebody did have a question. They said
I was too. I was too. Someone was asking in regards to your contact information or business information, so that way they maybe can contact you in regards to maybe having some questions.
Yes.
And then
I can leave it in the chat.
Please, if you can, please leave it in the chat. And then also one states, would you please list those websites in the chat if possible?
Yes. And then also, I'm leaving my email in here because I am also, I don't know, it's always in my heart and my spirit to help people with businesses. So I started sort of a new initiative. It's called Ambitious Girl Startup. Guys, if you're interested in this, well, you can send me an email, but I am going to launch an incubator and an accelerator for people wanting to start businesses. And the incubator is really just going to go over all the basics. So helping you with a business plan, helping you with a pitch deck, helping you to really perfect your pitch. Like all of these things that you need when you get ready to start a business. A lot of people don't realize, but when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So when you decide that you want to start a business, make sure that you have all of these tools in place to really excel and really be the best at whatever it is that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Miss Margo. Like seriously, like I'm sitting here thinking like the little plan I had in the back of my head, like, okay, so how can I make this happen? Like, let me use this knowledge that you spitting out to us today to start
Yes.
kind of creating a plan. Like I'm so very serious. And I thank you so much for all of this, literally, again, not a penny out
No
your pocket.
problem.
Start, your business and getting other people to invest in you and to believe in you, like that is awesome. Like also that builds just confidence that someone believes in you that much to write you this check.
You
So
know, it really does. And a lot of people, um, yes, Miss Dominique, yes. No, but a lot of people, they don't understand sort of, or they don't know how to vocalize what it is that they're building, right? So when you learn how to do that, so many doors open for you. And if I have time, because a lot of people are like, oh my God, that pitch that you did. So I wanted to just say the pitch that I did on Clubhouse that garnered so much attention and they got people like, oh my gosh, I want to invest in your company. And maybe when you hear my pitch, it will give you all ideas of how to formulate or how to structure your own pitches when you get ready. I also do pitch practice. So if you email me at ambitiousgirlstartup@gmail.com, I will assist with that. And Sade, yes, you may use my contact information. Oh, Ariana, that elective it was just called grant writing. I'm getting my MBA at Capella, so that was the name of the class. But we have like 10 minutes, so I'll just say my pitch, and then if you all have questions about the pitch, you can just ask me after I'm done. All right, so teen pregnancy, self-neglect, violent behavior, and suicide have one thing in common amongst youth, and that's unhealthy self-esteem. Did you know that there are over 60 million children in the US that suffer from self-esteem alone? Well, my name is Margo Baines, and I am the founder of Enrichly, and we are strategically leveraging technology and data for kids. We are the experts in self-esteem development. In 2016, we hosted amazing youth conferences. In 2017, we built a brick and mortar, and in 2018, we secured contracts with schools and organizations all centered around self-esteem development, grossing over $300K in revenue and impacting over 10,000 kids. When the pandemic struck, I needed to continue that impact through a pivot. So I created a SaaS, self-esteem-based e-learning platform for kids ages 6 through 14 that helps them everywhere reach their full potential. A trusted adult enrolls the child into the platform. That platform collects actionable data and delivers self-esteem-based learning skills, and then makes suggestions like course continuations, therapy, or even counseling. Our character-led instruction increases engagement with our target audience by 60%. The data that we collect is actionable because it measures a child's self-efficiency, growth mindset, self-esteem, and social awareness. Connecting parents and their children to the mental health resources ensures the appropriate intervention. Our competitive landscape is strong, as there aren't any other platforms on the market like ours. We will capture 10% of this $47 billion market by year 4. Our unique business model allows us to do this within the next 4 years through our parent subscriptions, our school contracts, and corporate partnerships. Our revenue model is brilliant, which also underwrites our capabilities to gross 24 million by year 3. The proof is in the pudding. We already have 3 corporate partners giving us over 50,000 leads, over 100 parents subscribed to the beta platform in 3 countries, and 5 school contracts for the spring of 2021. We were also just named Top 100 Startup, received the World Impact Award through Startup of the Year, and won first place in $7,500 in Houston Area Urban League's Small Business Exchange Pitch Competition. My background in finance, with a passion for social services and as a military veteran, has molded me into the perfect leader for this social enterprise. I've also put together a team with a combined 40 years of relevant experience. We are maximizing benefits for both shareholders and stakeholders. With $450K of our seed round already committed, we now need your help to reach our goal to positively impact 2 million kids by 2025, so that we can tackle this issue of unhealthy self-esteem in kids globally. And that was the end of the pitch. So I changed it around just a little bit. But yeah, so that was the pitch that garnered the attention of you know, Clubhouse investors, and got us. We won some pitch competitions because of it.
So
Um,
how long did it take you to create that pitch, Miss Margo?
um, it took me. I don't know. That's a good question. Like that one in specific, it took me maybe about a week, but yeah, I've been pitching for years. So every time that I pitch, I just take what I previously had and sort of infuse it into the new version, um,
Mhm.
and use that.
So do you run this by anybody like right now? Like we have some students on who are definitely going to use you as a resource. So, of course they will have you to kind of come to pitch it to. How does it sound? But is there anybody that you went to kind of go over your pitch, help you tune and fine tune it and anything?
Yeah. So there were several people that I sort of went to. My sister was one. She can be a brutally honest person. Um, there was also a gentleman who he was over sort of like one of the Houston Area Urban League, like the program.
Hmm.
I was assigned to him, and he just kind of just helped me like refine it. And so yeah, there were people that I went to ask them their opinions, and I practiced it. I recorded myself doing it. So yeah,
Delaney asks, do you improvise any while you're doing this pitch?
yeah, I do. If I need to come up with something else to say, I do. I put another word in, but I because I've been speaking for so long, I'm able to like think on my feet like pretty quick. So if I need to improvise, yes, I do. But I don't improvise a lot. So yeah.
All right. Any more questions, guys? Everybody's like, yes, ma'am. It was wonderful. Your pitch was awesome. Like, that's what's coming through the chat.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This was awesome. Again, Miss Margo, I learned something new. Like I got that little idea in the back of my head that may be coming out, be pushing out. But I want to thank you so much for agreeing to be here with us today,
My
sharing your
pleasure.
knowledge, because a lot of times you get some people who are like, they keep all that information to themselves and never are able to share it out to those who may need it. And our students right here, these HCC Eagles are well on their way. Like they have businesses, they have all kinds of goals and aspirations, and we are just so happy that you came to share your knowledge with us today. And I know that we're going to be bringing you back. Like I'm already thinking in my head where else we're going to insert you here in student life. Like you are going to be a household name for us. So I thank you so much.
Yay.
Eagles, I thank you so much. As before, as I did our little spiel when we were having technical difficulties, we do have more events coming up tomorrow. We have our genealogy event. So if you want to know where your ancestry came from, where your roots came from, come visit us tomorrow at 1 p.m. here on Zoom. Then we got the concert from the couch to give you some little entertainment there that we had to postpone or reschedule because of Storm Uri. So come with us and sit with us tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you. Mr. Jared Bird, you're going to get your extra Eagle points. And so will Miss Kamala Torres. You're going to get your 5 extra Eagle points. So look for them within the next 24 to 48 hours. Eagles, I thank you so much. Thank you for sticking with Student Life. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank